Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Art of Law show.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, Greenleaf Studios. Greenleaf is here for his favorite Art Law show. Yes.
We're his
Orange
guilty
King
pleasure.
Jr., hello, welcome. Oh, boy. I have to reach down and fix things. I apologize for the sniffles. I am back to being somewhat sick again, plugged up. I had fun with good old work today. Had to take out a furnace from the 1960s, and now I am just plugged full of soot, so I apologize. Mama Bear, hello, everyone. Hello. Well, I'm gonna get just down dirty, get it going quick. Quick updates. The Inquisitor rejects are still on the way. I'm getting really close to getting this done, which is nice. Someone playing as a Nurgle cultist? Yeah, I sure sound like it. Oh boy.
Oh. Kyle is never healthy.
I never am. I'm always sick. It's just how I am. It's just how I be. Let's just get to the paint screen. I have 2 models left out of the 40 whatever models, and I'm just gonna get as much as I can done today. But we're chugging along. We're getting there.
How long have you been doing these models, Kyle?
Don't ask. I'm gonna try something fancy on the ass of this one, some branding thing. I'm gonna see how it turns out. But, anyways, I'm on the last 2 blood crushers, and I'm finally done with this set here, and it can be shipped off to where it needs to be. And until then, Bob, I guess you could just go ahead and take on over for us.
Sure.
See if I can manage to get this done beforehand.
From the picture I put in the Discord, what do you think today's topic's going to be, Kyle?
I have no idea, because I don't know what that picture is of.
Not even a guess.
What you put in the announcements, right?
Yep. With only the words tonight.
I see an eagle, I see lightning bolts. It's the Screaming Eagles.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah? No?
How little he gave the fucks.
You're supposed to teach me this stuff, man. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Today we will be going over a topic that a certain Hit Pip Cheerio man suggested a while back. Today we'll be talking of the Great War of Unity, or more commonly known as Unification Wars.
Oh, we get into this shit now.
Oh yeah,
Yarick? I should have just said straight up Yarick. That's what I should have said.
Yarick is not a twinkle in his great granddaddy's nutsack yet at the time of this event.
That's how far back we going.
All the way back to M20 fucking 4. Because yes, as humanity reached for its golden grasp in the stars, we had friends, we had enemies who made the mistake of letting live.
Did you just say friends?
Yes. At one point, the human domain... Oh, god damn it.
Oh, I nearly forgot. There it is.
As I was saying.
Oh yeah, we haven't done the hot tub stream yet.
Humanity, at the height of its power. Oh dear god, this is gonna make you want to strangle some bitch.
Pain. Now, should we just server mute Kyle?
I think that's what I'm gonna have to fucking do, just to focus on what I'm trying to say here.
I am the server. I own the server.
And I can no longer hear Kyle. All is right in the world.
Kyle has been muted.
Alright, where was I? Oh yes, by M29, humanity have almost spent almost 300 centuries in the star that we had left behind Holy Terra, and grasped our destiny into the stars. Joy was everywhere. We almost looked like we might going to achieve a Star Trek, ladies and gentlemen. We might avoid this dark bullshit. And the few enemies we did had quickly found out that man-portable singularity guns tend to make even the scariest of creatures go, fuck that.
But you gotta remember
It-
something. This isn't Star Trek. This is 40K.
Yes, this was the height of human power, where our armies and fleets made mockery of everything else. There is only one real force currently that even we were in decent terms with that could even match us, and that was the Eldari Empire. The fucking knife ears. And of course, it was at this time, with sciences now lost to ages, subjugated by superstition and myth, humanity made themselves unto gods. With such science, we were able to harness the power of stars, fashion serpents from clay and iron, and give them true, well, it's what the mechanics would call counterfeit life to do our bidding. It was during this age of technology, humanity forged what was, how should I say this? Forged the dominion of humanity. And it was at the beginning of the Dark Age that it fell. With, how should I say this? With the birth of Slanesh, a period known as Old Night began. Some say, depending on the records, depending on where it was, Old Night lasted anywhere between, how should I say this? 3,000 to 5,000 fucking years. Suffice to say, Alan, it was a shit time.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Besides, you don't even need this. I already know the unification. This is Kyle. Kyle knows nothing about this.
Warp storms blocked out, shattered everything. Our friends turned against humanity, and old foes saw their chance now to make us pay. For our
Especially the
kindness,
Eldari.
who we actually had a standing relationship with. There's a whole reason why humanity really went full, let's be xenophobic. It's really in this year. If any of you have played Stellaris and know that song, that's how humanity felt after having every one of its friends go, and now you're my slave. Well, we're not here to talk about the transactions of the Xenos, now long dead. We are here to talk of unity. Terra was cut off at this point. All but the nearby star was cut off. Sometimes between the first few years, rulership of the Sol system went between Mars, Luna, and Terra. But sadly, during this 5,000 years of fucking shit, the old Earth's once unified government completely collapsed.
At this point, wasn't Earth like a Eucanopolis?
Not even so. It actually was. How would I consider this? I'm trying to think of the only one I can really think of is, you know, that one world in Ultramar Island that's an Econopolis that's within which holds bounds with nature.
Yeah, I mean, it had like hive cities, but it was what hive cities were supposed to be.
Yeah, everything's
There's like a
balanced.
bastion of humanity, but it's so self-sustained, it doesn't fuck up with the nature of the world.
Yeah, it's actually environmentally controlled, right?
Yes.
Follow me? And then the government collapsed, and everybody started going full techno-barbarian, as they were called.
But the best way to think about this is Mad Max.
Mixed with Fallout. And then slap in a few Hellraiser vibes for the ultimate oogas and boogas.
That was mostly. Are you going to talk about some of the nations or no?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you gotta talk. You gotta talk about what happened to America.
America. Oh dear God. There's a bunch of shit. But
That reminds me again. Sorry to off track this, but it just reminded me of when there was actually a mod called Unification War mod for Hearts of Iron 4 that me and Bob played. Bob was yelling at me at one point
Alan, quit fucking eating people.
because I was playing in one empire and I was just conquering all the little tiny ones, and Bob's just yelling at me, "Alan, stop eating people!"
Because he's literally breaking the fucking event chains as I'm getting error, 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 error. I go, Alan, quit fucking eating people. Let me at least clear the errors off my screen.
Oh,
Good times all around.
yeah. Sorry. This quick tangent.
So in summary, some stuff happened. It took a while, and then Yurik.
And then Yarrick.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. Anyway, and so began the war across Terra. Continuous fucking war. Alan, we know how destructive the 100 Years' War was for Europe, right?
Yes.
How long do you think this event lasted for?
1,000 years.
2,500.
Oh, well, okay.
It took us up right into the middle centuries of the 27th millennium.
Of constant, unending war, but
Yep.
as destructive as World War One.
Even fucking worse, because these jackasses have thermal nuclears.
Oh.
And even fucking worse during this whole
Wait,
time.
hang on. Question. Do you
Hit
mean
me.
they had thermonuclears of the Dark Age technology, like the ones that turned Krieg into a fucking wasteland?
Yes.
All right, good. Question's
There's a-
answered.
There's a reason why it took even M's a while to reconquer Terra. Everybody was running with Dark Age of technology tech. It was basically trying to play XCOM and trying to beat it on the hardest difficulty. Shit was easy. And during this whole fucking time, we looked to our friends like the Eldar and you go, hey, care to give us a hand here? You kind of fucked us when you created the Chaos God. Hey, you know what their exact words were, gentlemen?
Here's some irons.
Mm,
Slap them on.
And that's not far off, Kyle. There's a whole reason why Ems was very upset with every Xenos race when he got back to the galactic stage. And thus, the perils of the warp. Psychers started popping up fucking everywhere. And how should I say this? For the next, even 20 to the 27th millennium, shit was getting bad. And it stayed that way for another 2,000 years. It just by that time everybody ran out of thermonuclear weapons of mass destruction. And then they moved to biological and chemical weapons. The cradle of mankind was reduced to a battered post-apocalyptic wasteland. Most of the Atlantic Ocean had dried up.
Oh boy.
And it's most of the Pacific too. And thus came from the despots, augmented butcher kings, and religious demagogues. Among the petty empires that rose and fell, there was a backdrop of this violence. There was this, where the Emperor of Mankind, who had walked amongst us this entire time, who had basically just tried to nudge us on the proper path, finally went, okay, I see that the, what's the term? Help me here, Alan. The subtle method is no longer working. Now for the direct approach.
He went from using a silencer to using a fucking sledgehammer.
He revealed
Am I wrong?
himself. Yeah, not wrong. He revealed himself right in the beginning of M29 as a warlord more powerful than any other. For during the entire Age of Strife, he basically had gathered strength, technology, and power and basically went, and now I got to get ready to save Terra. For fuck's sakes, here we go again. With massive units of Imperial Army, the prototypes of the Adeptus Astartes, at these times known as the Legionis, or the, what the fuck were they called? Fuck it, I'll just use the name we all know them as. The Thunder Warriors.
The Proto Astartes.
Thunder,
And
thunder, thunder warriors. Oh. Okay.
and the Custodians. And it was thus the Emperor began his reconquest of Holy Terra to reunite the warring factions and to hopefully establish a unified planetary government. Good fucking luck. But it was at this time it showed the Emperor's true power lay in his foresight, his mastery of science. For even his regular Imperial Army troops were gene augmented. Has anybody here played a game called Metal Gear Solid?
Yes.
No, but I know it.
You know the whole premise of the Genome Army?
Yes.
Yeah, now imagine entire millions of troopers just like that. But this guy has access to everybody's ancient DNA, not just the big bosses. And
Ew.
then you have the Geno 253 or Geno. Hang on. God damn it! I have the number set down. It's the Geno something. I'll burn that bridge when I get to it.
You will
It was
find it
a good-
eventually.
They were known as the 100. They were basically they could go toe to toe with even techno barbarians in power armor.
Because
They-
yes,
they
even
were-
techno barbarians had power armor.
Everybody had power armor back then. Some of them had tainted Terminator armor. Yes, chaos was involved on Terra during these times,
I'm not surprised.
especially in places like Ush and the North African conclaves, where psychic phenomena was important. And it was at these places Emp stepped in and went, "Okay, it's time to hit things with the hammer."
Oh.
And thus, the first steps of reunification. Great empires raised their banners against the Emperor. Ush, the Indonestic bloc, the Pan-Pacific Empire, the North African Conclave, or what remained of it, and 100 other petty little techno-barbarian tribes. And those the Emperor could not defeat with full-out conquest were brought into the fold through diplomacy. Slowly but surely, the Empire was being made whole. And in the clutched fist was the Raptor Imperialis, the first symbol of the Emperor's gened craft warriors, the Legio Kakakis, or the Kingatis, the Thunder Warriors.
But then wasn't the first things he created though was actually custodians.
Those were the ones he personally took. Were the first. They were both made at the same time, but the difference is like the Model T to a. No, here's the thing. I'm trying to think of a better comparison.
It's a difference. It's a difference between
a mass-produced car and a handcrafted motherfucker.
Oh, I was thinking it's a difference between like a difference between a tractor and an Abrams.
Both technically do the same thing.
But one is much better than the other.
One had much more supplies thrown into it. Here we are. And amongst the Imperial Army supporting the mighty Thunder Warriors and Custodians was the Geno 52 Kaid, which became the oldest Imperial Guard or Imperial Army regiment, along other sized units known as the Old 100 or the Old 100.
Aren't those guys still guarding the Imperial Palace to this day?
One of the Old 100 is the legendary Lucifer Black Regiment. If you
Yeah,
want
and
to top it,
they I remember the Lucifer Blacks are like the pinnacle of humans, of human strength, and that they guard the Imperial Palace. They're the humans who guard the Imperial Palace.
Sounds
yeah, they
like they're
make up.
having a double plus good time.
Jesus Christ. But
Oh boy.
there was a catch with the old gene stack of the Thunder Warriors. It was unstable. We're not blessed with the long life of Astartes, and became very much prone to genetic destabilization and psychosis. Did I also mention that Thunder Warriors were about twice as strong as Space Marines?
No.
No.
I did now. A Thunder Warrior will kick the absolute shit out of a regular Space Marine.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Emps found it in some gene works. Thus, during the great end of Unity, during the final battle of Unity, they all perished to a man.
Quote unquote.
The most famed of them, Aractanerus, known as the Lightning Bearer, raised the banner of lightning at the final declaration of Unity, just before he perished from his wounds.
What did they die from?
Fighting the enemy, fighting Ursh. And
Well,
now
that's
that
where
the- now
that's
the
where we're going
Inquisition-
with. Got it.
Shut the fuck up. Wait a minute. Not that the Inquisition has left the room. It was unfortunately, this horror version of events is complete bullshit. They did not die to a man at the final battle of the Unification Wars. They were brutally culled from existence by the Emperor's 10,000 and the first wave of the First Legion. AKA Emps through the entirety of the 10,000 and the Dark Angels at the motherfuckers.
Now, that's nice. Oh, he destroyed his own creation.
Well,
Yes.
like,
And he's
They
not
were-
a bad dad, from what I've been told.
as I said, you really didn't have a choice in the matter. The Thunder Warriors were at this point becoming incredibly unstable.
Like they made the proto Blood Angels look tame.
Here, let me give a better description for you. Kyle, you know how psychotic the Night Lords act?
No, I would have no idea how psychotic the Night Lords act. Why would you say this? Night Lords! So wait. What?
Now, if we call that a 9 on the dial, right?
Okay.
They started pushing that 12 and 13.
Oh, Jesus.
They were losing their goddamn marbles because of how unstable the gene craft was. Because at this point, basically, it was Emps basically trying to work against time and go, okay, I got something that kind of fucking works. I'm going to have to stick with this. And they were slowly built for war. They were not suited for any other activity.
Yeah, because the original plan was that they should turn the Astartes into like bureaucrats and shit like that.
Advisors, artisans.
Brush ain't working. I don't have a good brush for what I want to do here.
Except for the World Eaters, we don't know what they were made to do before.
Originally,
Eat worlds?
healers.
What?
Angron's original ability, he was an empath. He could take people's pains away. He was the ultimate psychologist. Yeah,
Psychologist.
thank you. Like, Angron could literally just poke you, Kyle, and you would feel all your aches and pains go away.
And anxiety, shit like that. Like all your emotional pain, physical emotional pain.
So
He was
Angry
literally-
Boy was supposed to be Healy Boy.
Yes, he could literally just pat you on the head and go, "You did enough. You're done a good job."
And,
And
you
you
would
just-
feel happy, like you feel happy.
You'd feel like you've just spent 12 years in therapy and everything is undone. The Gordian knot is undone and everything is right in the world.
Angron. Angry
Yes.
kill everything boy. Pissed off
Yes.
boy.
Yes.
That's what his thing was.
Yes. Now you
Yes.
understand why he became so psychotic when they drove the nails in and cut him off from his soul.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Hence why I really consider that book shittily written. Because knowing how certain events in the heresy, how Ems reacts to things during the Great Crusade, there is not a place in worldwide where you tell me a force that surrenders to Ems and goes, "Oh yeah, we also mangled one of your creations so bad that its original purpose is now lost to you." There is not a place in creation where that sentence is uttered and that civilization still survives. Period.
Yeah, no, I would have destroyed him.
But shitty writing is shitty writing. Anyway, back on the Unification Wars.
That's sorry. One more thing. That's why also I like the Dorian Heresy fan novel because it actually writes Angron what should have happened. Like I would like to see that if what happened to Angron there canon.
But as I was saying,
Did we ever do an episode on the Dorian Heresy?
we
Yes.
have not. Did we?
Oh, I thought we did.
I can't remember. I know we mentioned it, but I can't remember if we actually did an episode on it. I know that. I think if we did, it'd be way back in the beginning if we did.
How about to redo it?
I feel like we need to touch that subject again at some point.
But after the last battle for unity, the Great Reconstruction began. Slowly, we started putting together what was lost. Chemical weapons and radiological storms had scorched the land. Slowly but surely, we had purged these faults from our home world. Especially the process was speed up after the Emperor forged a new planetary government under his leadership and journeyed to Mars. And with their aid and the Treaty of Mars signed, Terra and Mars began the long journey to the stars.
Also, you gotta think of something too. Like, also, Ems at this point was pushing really into like the sciences and atheism. Like he didn't want any type of religion.
He was a violent atheist.
And it wasn't because he hated it was more or less he just did not want anybody to accidentally touch the warp. But again, not just being a Mars fanboy here, even Bob has to agree to this. Ems got in contact with Mars, saw their religion, he's just like, I could fight them. We could talk them out, but I will take such horrible losses and I will also lose so much material and knowledge. This would not be worth it. Hence, he actually signed an alliance with them.
It wasn't so much of a, to quote the Treaty of Mars, you are a part of the Imperium. You are simply given more rights than others.
They became more or less a vassal state and a protectorate.
Yes.
But they were allowed such autonomy that they were pretty much a kingdom inside the Imperium.
But there are even exceptions to this rule when we talk about certain groups of people. Hint, hint, Rogue Trader episode somewhere down in the future. Certain people who have more rights than others are able to walk in and go, "Hey, dickhead, now you gotta listen to me." But now we will speak of the techno-barbarian states that tried to, let's say, square up with the Emperor.
That sounds like a really bad idea.
Oh, you're about to find out there, boyo. Are you ready?
Yes.
Because these have a lot of funny names, ladies and gentlemen, so... First one, how do you think that's pronounced?
Let's see here. You put it in general, correct?
Yep. No, I put it in the chat.
Which chat? The general chat?
Twitch chat.
Twitch
Oh,
chat.
Twitch
You
chat.
don't-
Adija.
I'm still trying to find some way to make it so I can pronounce it proper, but fuck it. We'll go with that. Adija. A dynasty of techno-barbarians had ruled over the northeastern region of Africa. They basically, when Ed strolled in, they basically tried to make him say, well, no, you can become a protector under us, and they laughed. After 4 weeks of fighting, Emps had reduced them from a great power into a to a group of maybe 3 different scatterings of camps.
Yeah, he pretty much just said, "Yeah, no, fuck you," and destroyed them.
And their former ruling class were reduced to working in as menial laborers. He took these great kings and nobles, right, and he threw them into the factory and went, "Work, you lazy shits."
The
Then
ultimate go fuck you.
And then came the Achaemenid Empire, a techno-barbarian state in the Middle East, basically the Persian area, right? Mostly a monarchy, but the population of the empire divided into tribal factions. Very wise, very knowledgeable. They saw what Emps immediately did to the other group and went, "Can we get a treaty, please?"
I surrender.
They had avoided the horrors of nuclear and atomic fire, so their area was actually pretty well preserved by Terran standards at this point. Thus, their gene lines were stable, very stable, in fact. Thus, they made perfect candidates for the Legiones Astartes program, and thus, the first recruits of the Thousand Sons had arrived. And amongst them, Azek Alimem and his brother Ormad Ariman. Remember that first name. He's important for later. Then you have Akhid, Central Asia. Once again, the great king of Akhid had basically tried to make the emperor square up. He even brought a massive fucking army to fight them. Of 200,000 gene-forged warriors.
Forged.
So they were basically genetically altered.
Okay.
Emp sent the first 10,000 Astartes at the first Legion.
I can see where this went.
Yeah, the stupid king was butchered in a day. They were left leaderless and scatterless, and they scattered and slowly picked apart. Ass kicked. Elba. Where do you think old Elba is, gentlemen, on the world map?
Kyle?
Elba?
Elba.
Elba. I'm not sure.
Albia.
Couldn't tell you. Brain
To
empty.
the British.
It is the British Isles.
The
Wait,
British.
really?
Yep.
Yes.
Hey,
Old
pot in the
Elba.
bottle of water.
You got a license for that?
We're gonna get so much hate.
Oh, yes, we are. That's why we love it.
If I got to listen to Ash turn Kyle into a chipmunk, he could take a British joke. There must be take and give.
That's
It's
funny.
from, and once again, these were some of the groups that, how to say this, they often protect and engagements with the Pan-Pacific Empire. And every once in a while, Emps would help them out. And it was from the same place you had great poets like Shakespeare and Marlowe. If you guess who those two are, who I'm talking about, I'll give you a cookie.
I feel like the one's supposed to be Shakespeare.
You got that one right.
The other one, I'm not too sure.
Christopher Marlowe.
Yeah, see, I don't know that.
I don't know who that is. To be honest.
Yeah, I don't.
Great playwright.
I know the to be not to be guy. That's it.
And funny enough, this was during the days of Unity. They had sent their own army of proto dreadnoughts and armored Ironside clan soldiers against the Thunder Warriors. And they did incredibly well, managing to hold back the Emperor's forces at extreme losses. The Emperor was so impressed by their determined, brutal resistance that he took Alba by negotiation later. Kyle, who do you think did their children end up joining?
The British ones?
Yep,
Like a legion?
yep.
I want to say maybe Emperor's children, maybe?
Those were all nobles from all around Terra, but no.
Not that one.
I'll give you a hint. He's always smelly all the time.
Oh no.
So yes, the canon voice line for all the Terran Dusk Raiders in Death Guard, they're all British.
Oh god.
It all makes sense now.
Stubborn bastards, all of them.
I didn't even think about all that, Jazz.
Added to the grudge list. I'm sorry, Ash.
Added to the grudge list.
I didn't realize you were a long-bearded short man. I apologize, kindred.
That's
That's going in the book.
going into the fucking book.
And then you have another part of the same Isles known as Elbion. Yes, somebody clearly lost their, what's the term? Their creative license over that one. What are we going to call a post-apocalyptic British Isle? Let's call it Albion.
Oh, yuck.
Its ruler, the tyrannical Urlarin the Red, once again tried to square up with Emps. Emps kicked his ass so bad it didn't kill him, and then threw his ass into the Himalayan prisons.
Oof.
How much you gotta suck where Emps doesn't even kill you? He just basically goes, "Okay, Fred, you can sit your life in a jail cell."
You ain't worth it. You ain't worth the ammo.
Then you had Atlan, a state ruled by a group known as the Earl Queens. This took place in, I believe, one of the custodian books, but they controlled the mountain pass, and they were given a warning that they were going to let the armies of Unity through, or one of them would butcher them all. And then she insulted the Emperor to a custodian.
Oh boy.
Oof, indeed.
Big oof. I'm not stubborn. How dare you?
Whatever you say. Whatever makes you feel better.
And then you have Botia. It doesn't really point out where this place might have been.
What, Boeotia? Boeotia?
Yeah.
Boeotia. I know. Hang on.
There's no real artwork. I know there's in that game. There is. But Emps allowed them to basically slowly.
Boeotia is actually a place in Greece.
Oh no shit!
It used to be an old Greek city-state.
Basically allowed them to slowly, over a course of 150 years, merge with the Imperium, right? And then they went back on their word, and Emps kicked their teeth down their fucking throat. You know,
What's worse than a liar? What's worse than a liar? A betrayer.
an oath breaker.
Right?
Yeah, that's a lot of oof.
You say, right, Armageddon?
Let's see, veteranic ass kick. Yeah, fucking Christ.
You alright there, Bob? Did you have a strunk?
The ether. Here, friends. You try pronouncing that without getting your tongue twisted.
Yes, ethnarchy of Caucasus Wastes.
What he said, it was a state basically ruled by a, how do I say this? A religious sect. And this is where the salamanders first began their legendary history. Because they basically deployed against a force to break, because they had set up well. Imagine a city protected by void shields and size shields. The forces' unity could not breach it. Only
Oh,
though this,
a hive city.
yes, a well prepared hive city. The Emperor sent 20,000 members of the 20,000 warriors. My bad. What was the exact number? I had it written down. Deployed. Oh, before the battle, they sent the Legion in. The Thunder Warriors had lost almost 10,000 of their number and more than 1,000,000 other casualties. That's how well fortified this place was. It was the mustering of 6 entire proto-legions for the final assault on the wastes, along with the massed might of the Legio's Custodes, with the Emperor himself leading them. But it would all hang on the hope of some 20,000 legionaries of the 18th going on a suicide mission to destroy the vast geothermic forges, well, furnaces that powered the city's impenetrable defenses. Their armor had been suited. You remember that picture of that ugly salamander armor I showed you guys a while back ago?
Yes.
The yellow and black one? That was the color they wore during this operation as camouflage.
As camo?
Yes, because they were fighting underground in sulfuric mines.
Oh, okay.
So it made some sense. The Legion went so deep that they even lost all contact with even psychic communications. Thus, hours stretched into solar days, and days became weeks. But no sign came from the Legion. Pressed by his commanders that they prepare for another plan. It was then the Emperor silenced them, and I wrote this verbatim. And he replied, "They shall not fail me. They will return from the fire. Thus it shall ever be." Reports claim that moments after the Emperor spoke these words, great tremors shook the region. The turbulence felt as far away as Gordak and the Jade Citadel. In their wake, power webs that had so long protected their precious little fortresses fell to ruin, and the Emperor's hatred and wrath fell upon them. He dragged their leaders to the cells of the Himalayas and shattered their might. Now, the uncontested master of Terra, the fate of the 18th Legion was unknown. It was feared that he might have to start work on the 18th once more. But far from the wastes, a long dormant volcano shattered. One of the massive termite machines had driven away with the last just over a few thousand survivors of the 18th Legion. And thus, the 18th Legion's way of war was born. Impossible odds for others. Europa, shit kicked down the throat, now becomes the legendary one, Frank. To anyone who has listened to the audiobook I posted a while back ago, The Last Church, I think you know what I'm about to talk about. Kyle, did you listen to it by chance?
I didn't get to listen to the whole thing, but I really would like to. Because it was actually really good what I got to hear.
Oh fuck, I loved how he did.
Oh yeah, it was. That's an amazing fucking book.
It is
Here
really well done.
In the lands of the Frank, a upstart little bastard led a rebellion against imperial rule, killing the emperor's appointed territorial governor. His rebellion began in the city of Avalon, but quickly spread, and he was able to muster a force of 50,000 rebels. A considerable force. Very considerable, right, gentlemen?
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Mostly of unskilled militia, but very considerable. They fought. They then staged to take the fight to the Emperor's force at the Battle of Guadere. I even know how it once pronounced, and my tongue is betraying me. Son of a bitch.
Bob, you okay
It's,
there?
it's French. Guadere. Guadere. Fuck you, Frenchie. This is why I'm not sad for what happens next. A line of high hills by the ruins of the Guadere Bastion. They had wiped out a force of less than 5,000 Imperial troops. Oh my bad, they didn't wipe them out. It was then they were engaged by a force of 5,000 Imperial troopers. Kyle, these were legionaries.
Yes. Foreign Legion?
These were a legion of 5,000 strong. They were Dusk Raiders.
Dusk Raiders, yep.
Can you guess how this battle went for these poor 50,000 morons?
Not very good.
Ass thoroughly kicked. Supremacy withheld. And then you have Cryptus, a small techno-barbarian state located in basically Egypt. Imps came around, stared at them, they surrendered. You have the Himalayas, which where this whole shindig started off from. You had Hey Brazil, which is just super advanced Brazil. It was taken by not by direct conflict, but by what's the term? It was taken out by both a mixture of political assassination and political intrigue, but with the aid of Malcador the Sigillite.
Malcador, the hero.
Yep, it was a massive hive city with plasma reactors, so very important to take a hold. No,
Yeah, they're Bob. Falling asleep on
good.
us.
I'm good. You had Germany, ass kicked. This Mulan Sen Confederacy. They unwittingly served the dark gods, so I don't think I need to tell you how this went.
Massacre to a man and every man, woman, and child killed.
Yep, they were crushed at the Battle of the Red Frost. Its ruler, the tyrant prophet Mulan Zen, was said to be been beheaded by a fun little custodian we all know by the name of Ra Endymion. Other accounts claim that it was the Emperor who executed him. I think it's funnier if Endymion did it. And then you have America.
Mercia.
America. Massive techno-barbarian state composed of hive cities. It does not say if it was taken by force of diplomacy. I'm just going to assume diplomacy.
They don't want to. They wouldn't want to fucking worry about themselves getting hurt, so they'd be like, please do not murder us.
You have the North-African conclaves, which were basically shattered by Oosh by the time of the Emperor's unification. They like to fuck around with psychic things. And then they found out. And then came the most legendary of them all. The infamous Oosh. Central Asia and Russia based.
Oh boy.
It was So yeah, imagine all them fuckers, and they fight with techno-barbarian skills like the Red Army.
That's a
It was
lot of people.
It was a strong empire, not technically as advanced as other states, but incredibly superior in military machines. It was ruled by a despot named Callaghan, the time of the Unification Wars. He was a cruel bastard, commanding vast armies of barbarians. He was known for wearing a distinctive suit of artificial armor, known as the Armor of Pearl. We know about this. By the time of the heresy, it's kept as a trophy in the atrium of the Eternity Gate.
Yeah.
So, spoiler alert, Callaghan does not survive this fight. Because he was crying out to primordial gods to aid him against the Emperor. Spoiler alert, dark gods failed to save this stupid bastard from the angry anathema marching from his south. And thus, the defeat of Ursh was signed with Callaghan's death. Mostly unaltered humans, though Ursh did employ some very powerful psychers within its armies.
Yes, these were
So
taken and then
they
killed.
weren't sucked at that point. They began the beginnings of another project,
Liberian Project?
the Ordo Sinister. You had Roma, which I don't need to fucking tell you where the hell that place is. Do I? Do I really?
Rome.
Romanians. The Roma.
Oh,
Oh.
shit. That was
I was thinking the Romans.
And then you had a bunch of other little bastards. Wraith Singer's ass kicked. The Orthonautics kicked in because they kept fucking with Warpcraft. And then finally you have the Indonesic bloc. Which, suffice to say, they tended to fuck around far too much. Spoiler alert. I'll give you 3 guesses what happened to these dumb bastards.
They dead now.
Oh, they're dead now. But they did something they shouldn't have. They preyed upon the Emperor's kindness, and then spat upon him. Thus, the Emperor only uttered a few words. Said in the 8th.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I've heard that term before.
Or as I like to call it, when the Emperor has lost all his chill. And thus brings us to the ends of the techno-barbarian groupers and bastards that polluted our dear, dear Terra at this time. And thus ends the Unification Wars. A good send-off to this, and I will post it in the general once more, because I cannot sing this fucking thing's praises enough. Let me get the link ready. Here we are. Boop. And boop. Copy link. In the general, there will be a perfect thing. A wonderful little send-off at the end of the Unification Wars. The Last Church.
Oh, yes.
For canonically, this
It's
happens
great.
at the end. I legitimately can't not sing this guy's praises enough. I will never forgive GW for making him take down the original. Because this is an upload by a different group. And I quote you, this is not added. This has no ads. We were collecting no money on it. So GW can try to sue me if they like. I will never forgive them for the Warhammer TV shit that they forced to take this down. Legitimately, it was a upsetting thing.
I mean, I get it, but it's like, really, there's so much good shit.
So, any questions, gentlemen?
Not really. So that's just Unification Wars. That's just on Terra. So that's just unifying all of Terra.
Oh yeah, no. If we're talking about the Great Unification, aka the Great Crusade, I need to
That's
pop a
all
beer.
that's all the planets, all the separate planets,
Yeah,
right?
I gotta pop a beer, and we're gonna be here for another day and a half.
Yeah, we'll do that in sections.
No, we won't.
What? What do you mean?
The last time we talked anything about the Great Crusade, we got stuck doing 20 legions. Hey, before we talk about the Great Crusade, we have to talk about all the legions. Yeah, Bob, that'll be a great idea.
6 months later.
Commit to the bit. Meanwhile, why the fuck did we think this was a good idea?
Just why?
Oh man.
But I could leave you with a hint for what I think we should do next week. Unless you have a suggestion, gentlemen.
I do have to have a suggestion.
Ooh, what do you think?
Since we have our current addiction that is not Pal World called Rogue Trader, why don't we talk about the Rogue Traders?
We had a few bases right now. If you gentlemen would like.
I mean, I'm not doing anything.
Fuck it. I'll hit the point of it won't be the big topic of the rogue traders, but we shall step about their power. The vaunted no Yark.
Or Yark.
We have done multiple episodes about Yark. Oh, here you go. Here's an episode about Yark. He's dead.
He's fucking dead. Angron took his skull. Gaskell's upset about it. Lore dumped.
Oh, sorry. Error 404. Yark not found.
The vaunted warrant of trade. I will tell you guys we have a few times this week. Imagine a piece of paper. How do I say this? Just picture this. You ever seen that? I can't remember the show with Ron Swanson. And the guy goes, "Hey, you can't do that. Don't worry, officer. I have a permit." And it just says, "I do what I want."
Yes.
That's what a warrant of trade basically is. Depending on its wording and who signed it, you have authority that outstrips anyone from between a interrogator to even a protector general of an inquisitor of the Inquisition.
The only one who has more power than you is the High Lords of Terra and also the Inquisitors,
No.
Lord Inquisitors.
No, Alan. There are some warrants of trade that bestow upon you such power that you could tell an Inquisitor to fuck off your ship before
Lord
space
Inquisitors.
a Lord Inquisitor you could tell to fuck off. But there are
Oh.
warrants with that kind of writing in it.
I'm saying a majority of them, though.
A majority of them are actually written much more stinishly than even that. Because it's all about the writing. The warrant of trade is actually, most of them are penned by either the Emperor, the High Lords of Terra, or the War Council of Terra.
A lot of them have actually been written by the High Lords of Terra recently, though. They're not really called warrants of trade. They're called letters of marque.
Well,
They're the more common ones recently.
Yeah, a warrant of trade normally bears somebody much higher giving you permission.
I just wanted to point it out that there are the current ones.
So we'll start there. A letter of marque. Normally this is something a cold trader would have, which is just somebody delivering supplies from one world to another. They have permissions to operate a warship, bear weapons on that warship, and bring supplies to different areas.
They're pretty much like armed traders.
They're merchant marine, right?
Yeah, merchant marines.
Then you have your weakest variant of the warrant of trade, which basically says, I give permission for this person to operate in this area of space, right? And this is written very stringently. He must cooperate with all Imperial forces under pain of death. Right?
Mhm.
He must follow all Imperial law. What the fuck?
So what's the So there's a difference between the warden trade and the marquee thing.
Yeah. Marquis is
I
a
just remember
lot
getting
less.
got upset that we said Yorick was dead because he fucking is.
I am now a banana.
I am so looking forward to taking my fortress of arrogance and just fucking converting it into a what the fuck is that? Oh yeah, I forgot. I promised if we got 2,000 followers, or was it 20,000? 2,000 followers, we did War of the Beast.
Yeah, oh
Yes.
yeah, you don't remember this? Yes, it is. And we are 1,000. What are we? 1,899, 89 away.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's literally been like up here on the top for like the longest time.
Like fuck, don't have to deal with that. But as I was saying,
Don't worry, I'm gonna get that. We will do War of the Beast.
next you have more loosely written warrants of trade. Basically saying, I declare this person has authority over this section of space to do as he sees fit in the benefit of the Imperium.
Isn't that what in the game Rogue Trader you have? Because it's like the Chronos Expanse.
Yes and no, you technically have a stronger one than even this. This one could still be ordered around by an interrogator. Basically told, fuck you, you're going to do this or I'm going to shoot you. These ones, the ones previously spoken, are mostly written by the High Lords of Terra. The next one is basically written around the lines of, I give permission to this individual's household and holdings to operate as they see fit in the interests of the Imperium, even at what at first appears to be a detriment to its laws. These ones, 9 times out of 10, are signed by the Emperor. That is the one you have as House Valancius in the Dear Game Rogue Trader. It's not one of the newer ones. Your house is ancient, it bears right to basically do what it wants in the Cronus Expanse. And nothing short than a inquisitorial lord can tell you no. Planetary governors bow at your feet. Imperial Navy forces respect you greatly. And then there is 2 above this. The same basic wording, one signed by the Regent of Holy Terra, aka Malkador, and then there's only one much, much higher than this. And I think there's only the 3 major Rogue Trader houses of the Sol system have this one. It is signed by the Imperial, what was it? The War Council of Terra. And under that you have the Emperor's name. You following me, Alan?
Mhm.
You have Malkador's name. You have Rabute Gilmans, you have Conrad Courage, you have Sanguinius, you have the Primarchs. Depending on time when your warrant was written. These are the warrants that basically specified upon you that not even an Inquisitor can tell you no.
Okay.
For when they go, I speak with the voice of the Emperor. What the fuck's that paper say? Oh, the War Council of Terra. My family was trusted not just by the Emperor, but by the Sigilate or the Hero, the High Lords of Terra, and all the blessed Primarchs. So what says you, petty little man? And mind you, these houses tend to have massive battleships as their flagships.
And also massive egos.
Oh, yeah.
I would assume so, and you can just tell anybody to fuck off. And you're definitely
Mind
gonna have the biggest fucking ego around.
When you can tell an Inquisitor to suck your knob, you tend to get that way. But these ones come with different enforcers. Can you guess who enforces these ones if you start acting a little stupid?
The assassins.
Oh yeah, I know you'll draw their attention very quickly, but 9 times 10, you're gonna have a banana man waking you up in the middle of the night and going, "I hear you talking shit."
Oh, them.
The Silver Host tends to deal with these folks because they bring supplies to the Imperial Palace. They're trusted to deliver supplies to the custodial fleet. So yes, that is the warrant of trade.
Which I guess we'll talk more about that on our actual episode on the Rogue
Yeah, it's
Traders.
just more of a overview. We'll go more into the history of the warrant and the marquees. But suffice to say, I'll say it right now, 9 times 10, if you played Rogue Trader, most of the warrants aren't that fucking big. They normally fit in a tube, and they're carried around by a Rogue Trader with a force field detector.
A force
Okay, that
field
was my
and
one
a
thing in
tube.
the game. I was like, Jesus Christ, are they all that huge?
No, fuck no.
Dude, I
That was so-
love the fact that fucking you remember listening fucking anyone who watched or listened to Warhams or watched Warhams when fucking Captain Zedek pulls out his ward of trade and just shows it to him. Like, guys,
Yeah.
they're like, wait, you carry it on you? I'm like, wait, am I not supposed to?
A lot of Rogue Traders will. They don't trust it to be anywhere but in their personal possession.
Oh my god, they're
The
all
kid-
laughing.
It gets funnier because by technicality, let's say if I were just to walk up, punch him in the back of the head, and run off with that fucking tube, I am now a Rogue Trader.
Yeah, you took it. It's yours now. Possession is 9/10 of the law.
Well, exactly. Then you just gotta find one jackass to change one name on the paper, and now you're a Rogue Trader. There's an entire Rogue Trader house that lost all its rights because of this stupidity. Because its Lord Captain basically was running around hunting something and it ate him and the fucking tube holding the warrant to trade.
Oh,
It ate the paper.
Well,
The dog
paper
ate
is
the homework. It's gone.
well, the paper is safe because it was in an adamantium void shielded carrying case.
but technically, would that monster now be a rogue trader?
Yes, but we don't tolerate Xenos.
So yes, but no.
What if he was eaten by an ogren?
Somebody's not.
There's now a rogue trader Ogren.
I don't want to think about it.
I'm a Lord Captain, sir.
I am now a Lord Captain.
That hurts thinking about it. But
Can
yes,
you imagine Stone as a rogue trader?
oh dear fucking Christ.
You will give all the cake to me.
Well, Kyle, I think it's time.
Time
Produce
to
your D20.
roll the dice.
Produce thy D20, good man.
Okay, we shall see who we are rating today. We are going to go down the Warhammer list, and we are going to roll said dice. And if I roll a 1, we will raid a hot tub streamer.
Oh
Dear
God!
God.
This
See-
is we're getting on the stream.
I got a 4. So we are going to see who's number 4 on the list of the Warhammer channel when I do my raid thing.
It was a cock roll. Reroll.
Reroll. Reroll?
Reroll.
13.
I can't say it's cocked that time, Armageddon.
So-
We see the one right there, but it's not close enough.
Still cocked.
You still cocked you the D4.
Ugh.
Okay, what are we going with the 4 or are we going with the 13? What should we do?
Go with the 4.
Go with the 4. Okay. Now, considering that this person is not doing actual Warhammer, is actually playing Cookie Cutter, we are going to the next one down, which will be Spark Minis.
Ooh.
So
Give
we
them
are
up.
going to go ahead and we are going to raid Spark Minis. You guys will get to see what they are working on. I'm not entirely sure, but yes. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. This has been the Art of Lore Show, your favorite Art of Lore show, favorite lore show, paint show, lore, and paint show that has everything all together with these 3 bumbling idiots. And
Yes.
we would like to thank you for stopping by and look forward into the future for our Imperial Rejects coming out soon, hopefully. And after we get some more thinkings ironed out. And hopefully I will finally be done with these Chaos Demons and we can work on something else!
Maybe a tank.
That ain't never gonna happen, Cal. You know it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Afterwards, you have to work on terrain.
No! That is
Thank
not
you.
happening. Not
Thank you,
happening.
Yarrick. I'll tell you what, Ash. Send us a Yarrick with the Fortress of Arrogance, and we'll consider it.
Fucking Bob.
Don't tempt him.
Oh, God. I'd love to get a little Yarrick mini and paint it, though, with his little crab claw. I think that'd be awesome.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. If Armageddon sent you a limited edition model like that, you're damn right you're gonna paint it. No offense, Kyle.
Oh, I
don't
know.
think they
I
make-
would. No questions asked. But
They didn't make a lot of them motherfuckers.
as we're running out of time, I will say good night, everybody. Have a good night. And I hope to see y'all in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Peace.